What's going on, guys? It is Bitmonkey Jed here, back again with another video, and today we are diving into one of my most favorite topics, Vim. So what is Vim? Well, Vim is known as a modal text editor. It is a text editor that has different modes. The three modes that we are going to be going over today, and mostly the modes that you will be using, are normal mode, insert mode, and visual mode. Insert mode is generally the mode that you use within all of your other text editors, such as Word, Google Docs, or Notepad. It is the mode that whenever you press a character on your keyboard, it gets displayed onto the display. So today we are going to be learning a little bit of commands that we can do within normal mode and how we can get into insert mode and how we can utilize visual mode. So to get started, let's go ahead and open up a terminal. You can go down here and click this and fire up a terminal, or since you're about to be learning Vim, you can learn how to use your keyboard. We can hit Control-Alt-T to launch a terminal, and I can do Control-Shift+ to make this a little bit larger for you guys. So now we need to go ahead and install Vim. If you're using Ubuntu, then you will be using the apt package manager. If you're using any other type of machine, then you may have to go and look at what package manager or how to install Vim. So on Ubuntu, we're going to do sudo apt install Vim. Hit enter, type in your password, and then hit enter again, and it will install Vim. So now that we have Vim installed, in order to actually launch into Vim, we simply just type Vim, enter. Now we are inside of Vim. That's pretty cool. Now, there's a joke that has been around for probably for longer than me, that once you're in Vim, you're stuck in Vim. But it's really not that hard. Like, people literally, it's a meme now. They turn off their computers because they don't know how to leave Vim. But here's help for someone. Oh, it's right there. It tells you how to leave Vim. So we're gonna hit :Q, and that, again, to hit the colon, we type the character next to the L, but with a shift. Shift :Q, enter. All right. So now that we know how to enter Vim and how to leave Vim, we are going to walk through a file that I have written here for us. So to follow along with me, go ahead and type Vim and then the name of the file that you want to edit. You can type vim basics.txt. This will create a new file named vimbasics.txt when you hit enter. Boom. You won't have the information that I have here, but you can follow along and learn the basics as we go. Today, we will be talking about normal mode, insert mode, and visual mode. We're going to start with insert mode because it is what you are used to. It's what everyone is used to. When we are inside insert mode, we can simply just type a character and it displays on the screen. So there are a couple key ways that we can enter insert mode. And I encourage you to not try to memorize all of these all at once. Learn one or two and keep it at that. And once you start to implement that into your development, then it will just become second nature and you can tack on a new one. And so the first one that I encourage you to learn is just I. And so if I press I, it puts me into insert mode. And we can note that now I'm in insert mode because Vim is telling me that. So inside of insert mode, go ahead and say, hello, Bitmonkey Jed. So now that we have entered insert mode, in order to get out of it, we need to hit escape. Once we're in it, we've hit escape. By pressing buttons on our keyboard, it won't display the characters. Other ways that we can enter insert mode are A, which I don't really use often, but that puts us one character after the cursor, whereas I would put us in insert mode on the character. Shift I, which puts us at the beginning of the line, or Shift A, that puts us at the end of the line. We can also do O to make a new line below and enter insert mode, or Shift O to make a new line above the line we're on and enter insert mode. And again, I've been using escape to exit insert mode this whole time. So now that we've learned how we can enter insert mode, let's learn about what we can do when we're in normal mode. When we're in normal mode, by pressing characters, they do some weird things if you're not used to it. And so with normal mode, we can move around the text very efficiently, and it's really quite awesome. And again, with these, there are so many different motions that you can learn. And so I encourage you just to learn a couple key motions and work with those within your day-to-day development. And when it becomes second nature, then you can move to another or add on another command or motion. And so the main four that I encourage you to learn are H, J, K, and L. H, J, K, and L are Vim's way of getting rid of those pesky arrow keys, because if you have to lift your hand off the keyboard and put it onto the arrow keys, like, I mean, it's pretty painful to, like, it's pretty far. It's like walking to Alaska or something. Nothing against Alaska or anything. So we can use H to go to the left, J to go down, K to go up, and L to go to the right. Now, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but the way I think of it is H is furthest to the left, which might be that way for you guys on camera. So H is furthest to the left, and L is furthest to the right. So I can use those to go left with H and right with L, respectively. And then J kind of looks like it's pointing down, and so I can go down with J. And then K, I don't really know what I got for you there, but you go up, right? It's the only other option. And so by putting those to memory, it allows you to always keep your hands on home row without having to take it off and put it onto the keys. Again, that is very painful. Like, if I have to even go to my mouse, that is even more painful. So other Vim motions that we can learn are W, E, and B. With W, it moves us forward one word. With E, it moves us to the end of one word forward. With B, we jump backwards one word. And so this can be more efficient than just typing L to go, just spamming L to go back. So I can just spam W to go forward, or B to go back. Now, again, like I said, learn H, J, K, and L, and then come back and learn a couple more motions. But I am going to go over these. So we learned W, we learned E, and we learned B. Now, F is super cool, or F and T are super cool. With F, it finds a character forward. It finds the first instance of a character forward that's on the same line. And so if I say I want to jump all the way to this W here, then I can press F, W, and that jumped me forward to the first occurrence of W. Now, if I want to use T, it works the same way as F, but it jumps until the first character W. So you're one space before. So if I say TW, then you see I'm on the R here on the forward. So capital F and capital T work the same way as F and T do. They just go backwards. So if I want to find the first occurrence of C backwards, then I can do Shift F C. Or if I want to use T, then go to the first occurrence of F here, then I can say Shift T F, and it jumps me to the position until F, right? That's how I think of T. Till. Jump until this thing. So now that we've learned some really cool motions, let's learn some actions that we can do with these motions. Today we're going to be learning Y, P, D, and C. Y means to yank, P means to put, D means delete, and C for change. Now, Y and P are like your copy and paste. So in order to use these actions, we can build commands. One of my professors, the professor that actually got me into Vim, he would think of building commands as a sentence like structure, a verb, adjective, and noun. And I think that it helped me connect with Vim a lot easier. And so, what we're going to be doing is building commands kind of in this structure. So, our actions are going to be our verbs, and our motions are going to be nouns. So I have a couple examples here for us to walk through. So with DW, we have D for delete, and let's remind ourselves of what W does. It jumps us forward one word. And so by doing DW, I delete one word forward. Now, you could press U to undo that, which we'll get a little bit further down. So here's where an adjective can come in. D2W. Delete two words forward. Boom. I can undo to undo that. Now, CW, right? So if D was delete and now C is change. So CW means change one word forward. And what you can note here is this actually puts you into insert mode. I really like to use CW. Now, YY is going to yank the current line that we're on. So if I do YY, then it yanked the entire line that we are on. So that if I want to say paste that, right? So I just copied it into what is known as a register or your clipboard. And so if I say P for put or paste, it's going to paste below the line that I'm currently on. And if I say U to undo that, I can do Shift P or capital P to paste on the line above the line that we're currently on. So now let's do DD, right? So if YY yanks the current line, we can do DD to delete the current line. So DD. And one thing to note with D is that it actually saves what we deleted into the copy register. And so we can press P to paste what we just deleted. It's kind of like cut with Word or Notepad or any other text editor. So I'm going to hit U to undo what I just did there. So just as with D2W, we were able to delete two words forward, we can do things such as like 10p. Well, that's going to paste what is in our copy buffer 10 times, 10p. And you see there are 10 of those lines. I can hit U to undo that. What about D5K? Right, so K goes up. So what is D5K going to do? Well, it's going to delete 5 lines up. So if I undo that, you can note that it actually took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 lines. So it took the current line that we were on and 5 lines above that. And so just as with D5K, we can say like Y5K, and that's going to see 6 lines yanked the line we were on, and then the 5 lines above, so that I could press P to paste it, or Shift P, paste above. Now, by using this kind of construction of commands with motions, we can just do some really cool things. And again, like I said, with the insert modes, there are so many different motions within Vim, and I encourage you just to learn a few, master them so that they become second nature, and then work other ones in. I myself am still learning to use different motions, right? So the first ones that I encourage you to learn are H, J, K, and L. Once you've learned those, go ahead and learn how to use W, E, and B. And once you have those kind of mastered, you can go into F so that you can jump your cursor to exactly where you want to be with just one command. Now, these aren't all of the motions that Vim offers, but they are the most fundamental. And again, we can use them with these operators to build commands. So now that we've talked about normal mode, let's talk about visual mode. Visual mode can be entered by pressing V. This is now allows us to use our Vim motions that we just learned above and basically highlight the text. Now, again, just as we can use these motions above, I can say press V and then say like 10K to jump 10 lines above, or 10J to go 10 lines down, or even FL to jump to the L on this line. Now, to exit visual mode, I press escape again. Now, to enter visual line mode, we say shift V, and this puts us into visual line mode. And you can see that now we're highlighting the entire line. And again, the Vim motions that we learned above can be used, such as 10K or 10J. Now, visual block mode is another visual mode in which we say Control V to enter it. And it is like the regular visual mode, but you can see right there, it's a block of text. And we can go up and say, I want to delete all of this stuff. I can press D, and now I just deleted all of that. I can press U to undo that. So by using these visual modes, we can copy. I like to go ahead and say copy all of this by pressing Y, and now I yanked all of those lines, and I can press P to paste it. This is very useful, say, for copying functions and not having to write all of the boilerplate code for a function structure. So lastly, what we'll go over here are some of the other important useful commands within Vim that you should know. U, which we've been using throughout this video, is to undo the last command that was done. Control R redos what we just did. So if I say delete this and then I undo it with U, I can press Control R to redo that deletion, and I can press U to undo that. Then GG allows us to jump to the top of the file, and then Shift G allows us to jump to the bottom of the file. Lastly, we learned :Q to quit out of the file earlier, but if we have written our file and we have to save it, we need to save our changes, we can say :W to write our changes. Or let's say we want to save and quit, we can say :WQ to write and quit. Bam. Now we're back in the terminal. So today we learned what Vim is. It's a modal text editor that allows us to manipulate text with ease. It is like playing a game. You can have so much fun by using Vim. We learned a couple of different ways that we can enter insert mode. Then we talked about some of the key Vim motions and how we can use those Vim motions with some Vim actions to build commands and do some complex or really cool things. Then we touched on visual mode and how we can use visual mode paired with some Vim motions to move around and say copy text or delete a chunk of text. We then talked about a couple very useful Vim commands you should know, such as undo and redo, GG, capital G, and then how to save and quit out of a file. So today we just scratched the surface of what Vim is and some of the fundamental commands and actions and motions and how to use Vim. But we just barely scratched the surface of what it is and what it has to offer. But I encourage you, go ahead and learn more Vim. Start to implement some of these motions and some of these keys into your daily workflow and start to build up that muscle memory so that you can start to build up your Vim vocabulary. It's truly so much fun to be editing text within Vim. It's like a game. It's so much fun. I love it, and I will never leave. So if you liked this video, go ahead and leave a like below and subscribe. And if you want to learn more Vim or have me dive more in depth into a specific topic, leave a comment down below. I would greatly appreciate it. But it's been fun, guys. Go ahead and have a great rest of the day and Vim on.